if we had to put anybody to represent the state of Arkansas, Todd Knight, I'd be my first vote.
Well, you're pretty kind. You know, there's been some other Arkansans. I mean, Tommy Tuberville, Blake Anderson was on the board. Sam Pittman was on the board for a couple of years. There's almost, for me, there's more pride walking in here because I'm a Star City Bulldog. I've been at Ouachita 25 years. This means a whole lot.
First of all, hey, appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate you being here. Talk to us a little bit before we get into your program and about the conference here, the clinic. You're president of the AFCA. I mean, which is a huge honor, huge responsibility. Talk to us a little bit about what all goes into that and, the extra time you got to spend there at the clinic and how that convention and that group has filtered down to us here in Arkansas.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's a similar process. And, I was the president this past year, right. 24 year, I'm past president, but the way that thing works, Jeff, it's an ascending board. Grant Taft put me on that board about 11 years ago, and you're nominated really by your division. And then Grant Taft, at that time, he made the decision. Doesn't work quite like that now, but what a great experience for the 11 years to be on the board and be around what I say are some of the greats in college football and high school football too. That board, the way that board's made up, every Power 5 or now Power 4 conference has a coach. The Group of 5 has a coach. There's 2 FCS coaches. There's 2 Division II coaches. There's an NAIA coach, Mike Christensen at Carson, California. He's the high school representative, and I would give anything if Arkansas could get that spot. I would love for Arkansas high school football to be represented with the AFCA nationally, and that's a goal of mine to see if we can maybe get one of our guys in that spot because it's a great spot. Of course, junior college is represented as well. But, college football right now is it's kind of in choppy water, I would say, but it's never been as popular as it is right now. Yeah. So it's in a good spot. But, the things like the portal, the NIL, some of the things that are going on right now, those are, within themselves are not bad things, but the way we've got them positioned, they're negative. So trying to figure out how to put windows and an academic piece into the portal, trying to figure out how to take NIL and maybe revenue share where it comes down through all levels, even to high school football, and everybody gets the same thing. I mean, those things would be very, very positive for football across the board. But the way they are right now, they really have a negative connotation to them. And it was very much an honor to be on the board. And what I would say about that, it gave me really a new respect for coaches. Some of the guys, I know Mac Brown was the president when I went in. And what I learned about these guys in coaching, all these guys take their hat off. They take their Ouachita hat off or their Texas or whoever they are hat off, and they try to do what's best for football. And, my goal when I was president, it was trying to really represent Division II, which I love Division II. I've made a life and a career out of it and try to make Division II better. And, there's a lot of things people don't even know about Division II football. We have a thing called Coaches Connection. All 16 conferences in Division II are represented. We meet 8 times a year by Zoom. And we've gotten a lot of things done, as far as rules and just like 0 week, trying to follow high school football. We're the only division that only had 11 weeks to play 11 games. So we're fighting for that right now. But it was a great experience. I don't want to rattle on you too long, but meeting some of the greats in college football, building those relationships and even for me to help my own players to be GAs and other programs, and just the respect that I have for all coaches and trying to keep all our rules the same, from high school football to college football and recruiting rules and all that as well, and especially the playing rules. But I feel like AFCA has made the game safer. A lot of things have happened with AFCA that people don't even know the undertow with the NCAA where the AFCA's involved, but it's been really good. So I said a lot right there, but it's a great experience to to be a part of that. And I'm thankful for the time that I had on the board.
Well, it's such an honor, but if we had to put anybody to represent the state of Arkansas, Todd Knight, I'd be my first vote. I mean, in any of that.
Well, you're pretty kind. You know, when I first went on the board, there was nobody from Arkansas, but for a short time, Blake Anderson was on the board. Sam Pittman was on the board for a couple of years. And the way that board works, if you get fired or if you change conferences, you're off the board. And I've been at Ouachita a long time, so I was able to ascend. I was able to ascend to that thing. But there's been some other Arkansans. I mean, Tommy Tuberville was on the board when I went on. So there's been a lot of Arkansans on the board. And I think Frank Broyles and Ken Hatfield both have been the president of the AFCA. So there's been some Arkansas connections there.
Well, talk to us a little bit about this, how this trickled down. You've watched this thing grow from when we started, I believe, back in 2009 or 8 with 126 coaches.
Yep.
We've already got over 1,000 pre-registered, probably going to break our record. How's that trickle down? And talk to us a little bit. You've seen this thing grow and how, I mean, you've been big involvement in this process also. How exciting is this to see the Arkansas Football Coach Association grow like it is and what you've done to be a part of it?
Well, in a lot of ways, for me, there's more pride. I hate to say this. I wouldn't want Coach Taft or Coach Berry or Coach Bowl right here hear me say this, but there's almost, for me, there's more pride walking in here because I'm a Star City Bulldog. I've been at Ouachita for 25 years. This means a whole lot. Just the camaraderie and the coaches and really what this organization's done in such a short time is really amazing. In fact, I've mentioned this organization at AFCA board member meetings over the last 5 or 6 years, just the energy that's here, the positive energy, the things that have happened in this organization of making the game better, and especially our high school football better. And it's just it's been a great connection just to even be here today.
No doubt. Bray?
Coach, one of the biggest things with this convention is for young coaches to come in, and we talked on it earlier, young coaches doing skills and drills and being able to get that exposure. Last night we sat here and watched a couple very impressive head coaches sit in the corner of the lobby and just be really passionate about a couple drills that they could share. And that's the cool thing about the clinic like this. What impact does a clinic like this have on young coaches' careers? And what's something that maybe a young coach could take from an opportunity like this?
Yeah, but the first thing I would say is ethics. I mean, we've got some of the greatest coaches, high school coaches, and even college coaches probably in this building the next 3 days. And I know everybody doesn't do it exactly right or the same way, what's right and wrong. But there's some guys that walk in this building that I have great respect for, regardless what level they are in high school or college. They're great football coaches. And to see why they do it, it's not about money. It's not about some of the things that we get caught up in. It's about coaching kids and building the total man and those kind of things. So the first thing I would talk about is ethics. And when you go in there and listen to coaches that usually start, they're going to talk scheme, going to talk schematics, but just about everybody that walks in that room, there's something that's said before they start that process that's about building the total man. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. So the ethic part of it, and then education of the game. For a young guy to be able to walk in here and see the skills and drills and see the quality of speakers, our high school and college speakers that come in here, it's pretty incredible. So I think education and ethics is what I would say is great over the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and then I'll go. The Mouse, big Tiger fan over here. I mean,
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this guy.
I get the reports every Saturday. You know that part, and when y'all beat Henderson, I hear about it. That kind of deal. But Todd, you've been there 25 years. I mean, even in high school now, it's hard to stay somewhere that long.
Yeah.
And I love that. My dad was a guy that was somewhere for 32 years, never left, and never had to, you say it's the greatest job, I never had to pick the furniture up. You stayed there for 25 years with great sustaining, great success. How hard hit the process is that? and how do you do it?
Yeah. In the early years, it was difficult because we weren't very good and the program wasn't funded in the right way. And so it was those first 5 or 6 years were brutal. Probably the best things happened to me. We've changed presidents 3 or 4 times. So even though I've been there a long time, the president that's tired of me is gone. So I've outlasted all these guys. So that's probably been good. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's been chances to do other things and go other places. And I say that in a humble way, but I really feel like this was our calling, and this is my calling. Julie feels the same way, that this is where we're supposed to be. And, it's bigger than saying I'm at a bigger school or a smaller school or whatever for me. And Ouachita is a special place. And when they started to fund the program and we got the right people in there, and I'll say this too, Jeff, you've done this head coaching thing too. You're only as good as the people around you. My gosh. I mean, you think about guys like Brett Shockley, Jay Derby, Roy Thompson. I mean, those guys have been with me a long time. And, all those wins and things people say about me, it really gets back to those guys. Retention of coaches and retention of players. And I still say this, recruiting high school football players. Yeah. I mean, you take our roster, it's 98, 99% high school football players, 68% Arkansas high school football players. And I think that's had a lot to do with our success. And naturally, if we hadn't had some success as of late, I wouldn't be there. Yeah. You know how that works. But it's been a great run. We've enjoyed it and really enjoyed coaching the Arkansas high school football player.
Well, good deal. Mouth?
I just first of all want to say that Coach, I got introduced to Division II football through Ouachita and Brett Shockley. And so I went to my first game. I can't even remember how many years ago. It was the first year Cliff Harris Stadium was open, I believe.
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
And I go back home. My mom and dad are sitting in the living room, and my dad says, "Well, what's the what was the difference you saw?" And I guess he wanted to see if I really paid attention at the game or if I was eating popcorn the whole time. And
you were doing both. I know you.
I was doing both. And I said, "Well, Daddy, I'm going to tell you, your tackles are 6'3", your guards are 6'1" to 6'2", your center's 5'11", and your defensive line's smaller but the same." I said, "But your skill people can still fly, and your quarterback can still sling the ball." He said, So you see a good product. I said, "I'm gonna be back as much as I can." And plus, I got in for $7, and I had a parking spot.
And nobody spilled a beer on you either.
Nobody spilled a beer
right now.
And I had a parking spot waiting on me with orange cones. I ran in there hot, and the policeman said, "Are you Mr. Bender?" I said, "I am." He said, "This is your spot right here." I rolled up in there, and it's been a love affair with me and Ouachita ever since. And we've got to have lunch sometime. I'm coming up there Thursday to bring Shock the golf coupons I got for you at Mystic Creek. So lunch is on me if you can come, but put on some shoes. The last time we had lunch, you were running around the office in your socks. But I just love D2 football, and you do a great job with your program. It's amazing. But I got to tell you, can I tell you Coach Shockley's story?
Real quick? Well, of course.
So after the season, I call him. You lose to Henderson. He doesn't call me back for like 4 days, right? And he calls me and he said, "What's up?" I said, "You sound like you just died. You sound like you just lost your dog or something." He said, "We lost." I said, "That's unacceptable." He said, "It's unacceptable." I said, "Shock, you went 9-2. You're going to," he said, "But we lost to Henderson." I said, "It's okay. It's the sun's going to come up and you're going to win another 10 or 11 next year." I mean, that just shows to the extreme your program has grown, where you're upset going 9-2. You're upset going 9-2. You know, there's coaches, D1 coaches, that would give their fingernails to go 9-2 as many times as you have, or 11-0 and 10-0.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that. Sometimes 9-2 or losing that game may be the best thing that happens to you, because sometimes in this profession, you get to feel like you're doing the right thing and you don't make any changes and you don't do anything. And Eric Hart reminded me yesterday, the great Eric Hart, I'm going to just say that right now, reminded me yesterday that, there's something to be said for a guy that can lose a football game and figure out how to get better out of that. And so that's what we're trying to do. The 9-2, you're right. The 9-2 hurt us this year a little bit, but we're looking forward to getting back in there. And our kids are fighting hard in the off season. I think we're going to have a great year next year too.
Well, I'm going to ask you this. Talk about the league. I mean, you got Harding just won. Y'all been knocking on the door for years. Right. Harding goes and wins national championship this year. Henderson's had another good year. The whole league, just how it's grown and the success y'all have had in the playoffs. Talk to how tough the league is.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you left out Southern Arkansas and Monticello. HUD's doing a good job down there, and you can go around the state. I mean, all the programs are strong, and the Oklahoma schools continue to improve. Southeastern, back when you played, really had a great program. Yeah. They're back. So all those schools over there have gotten stronger too. But no, I would say that the Great American has gotten a lot of respect. With what Henderson's done playoff wise, what we've done. Naturally, Harding this year, what a great year they had. Congratulations to those guys. And Southern Arkansas won their bowl game this year. Did a great job. So, man, the league just continues to get better. And I hate to say it, but it's almost like a small arms race in Arkansas now with facilities. But that's what it should be. You should give these kids the best quality stuff to do and be a part of. So the league is strong and nationally known now, and I think that's good.
There's zero doubt about that. And like I said, your longevity and the consistency, I think it's the hardest thing, to keep winning at the level that y'all have done over a long, long period. Everybody talks about, Alabama and Coach Saban, and I look at y'all's program and it's the same way. I mean, y'all do such a great job, like you talked about. Y'all not really in the portal business a lot, and your high school guys and developing and do a great job of developing guys. And I know I've had guys come play for you.
Yeah, sure.
Seen those guys develop, and but it goes back to your staff. Let's talk about some of your former coaches a little bit. You got Todd Cooley here speaking.
Man,
you've put out great assistant coaches that have gone on and do great things. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, I think right now Ouachita's got, I may have missed one, but I think we got 6 head coaches in the state right now. Maybe one or two more than that. My number may be off, and the number of assistants is incredible. So we're awfully proud of that and proud of our coaches and proud of what they're doing. And I look at the high school coaches that are walking through. I couldn't hardly get up here. I mean, besides talking to Todd Cooley a little bit and having to hear him gripe about everything. After doing that, seeing about 5 or 6 guys that either have GA'd for me or played for me. And, there's a kid from Conway right now that just played center for us for the last 4 years, Nate Turner. He's looking for a job, got his resume. So we're hitting everybody we can today to try to get Nate hired. And I'm going to tell you right now that everybody better be looking at him. He was a great player. He's highly intelligent. He'll make a great coach. So some of us being here today is helping our guys find their slot, especially our guys going into coaching, and he's one of them today.
Well, let me ask this. You just brought that up, and then I will get you off here because you got to see people and get into some meetings. You talk about that. How many guys are coming off your team are going into education a little bit and going into coaching? I mean, I see the numbers have kind of dropped throughout the state. Or is that product coming out of your program as much as it used to be? Or are you seeing less?
Yeah. I'm like you. I've seen it drop, and I was very concerned about it 10 years ago. But I tell you what, the quality of guys that are coming out right now are impressive. I mean, we've had, last year, Scott Hires, one of our guys at Cabot. We've got Nate coming out right now. I think the numbers are coming back. I think it's getting popular again. And I think guys are starting to understand they can make a difference in this profession. I say it all the time. I'm in my late 50s, okay? And I go in that office sometime and we're talking about drawing cards and we're talking about, helping kids grow up, and we're getting paid to do this. It's pretty incredible. And I tell our team all the time, if you really feel like you're called to do it, what a great profession. What a great way to make a living and make a difference with others. And I encourage our players to go in and hopefully they'll get hired today, because there's a bunch of them walking around the building.
There's jobs open, no doubt. Well, Coach, we'll get you off here, man. Hey, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the way you represent the coaching profession, number one, but also our state.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the ARFCA and the difference it's made, especially this last 5 or 6 years. Record turnout this weekend. That's impressive, and appreciate what you guys are doing too, getting the word out about ARFCA and high school football in the state of Arkansas.
Well, we're having a lot of fun doing it. Coach, appreciate you coming on.
You bet. Thank you guys.
Man. Well, man, we are flying like crazy on YouTube right now. We're blowing it up. Had some great last couple of shows, been great views. Tell everybody how they can find us.
Yeah, we've hit a couple of huge benchmarks on YouTube. Coaches in the Mouth. Give us a subscribe, give us a like. That's huge towards where we're headed. And of course, we're on Twitter or X under Coaches Pod. So give us a follow there. You can watch all of our episodes there as well.
Well, it's great. Well, for Coach Jeff Williams, Coach Bray Cook, the Mouth, we'll see you next time.